Dolphin Stadium here in Miami, and this is the National Football League on CBS, where today the Kansas City Chiefs prepare to take on the Miami Dolphins. Let's take a listen to the sounds of the game.
Great day to play football. Back home. It's all about respect, and we still ain't got it. We're going to have to take it. We'll have to take it today.
Chiefs on three. 1, 2, 3, Chiefs!
We're watching the NFL on CBS.
Presenting CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Herm Edwards and the Kansas City Chiefs come in with a 5-3 record. They've won 3 straight football games, most recently last week 31-17 at St. Louis. On the other sideline, Coach Nick Saban in his second year, and a huge victory for the Dolphins, winning 31-13 against the undefeated Chicago Bears. And the weather, great weather here in South Florida, 81 degrees, a calm wind, and it's mostly sunny. Kansas City won the toss. They'll receive the football. And the series note, KC leads the regular season series 12-10. They last met on October 21st of last season. Kansas City winning it 30-20. The game was moved to Friday night due to Hurricane Wilma. And that was the first Friday night victory for Kansas City since they defeated the Dallas Texans 27-7 back in 1962. So Dante Hall, the dangerous man, back deep. Hall has 11 career returns for touchdowns, third most in NFL history. And he starts at the 10-yard line, runs into his own man, tries to bounce it outside and does, and tiptoes out of bounds at the 30. That brings in Damon Huard last week against St. Louis. Very efficient, 10 of 15. 148 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He had a 138.3 quarterback rating, a career high. Let's take a look at his lineup. Kyle Turley is in at right tackle today for Kevin Sampson, who has a foot injury, and Chris Bober replaces Brian Waters at left guard. The backs and receivers, Larry Johnson, back-to-back 100-yard games in the last 3 weeks. First down and 10 at the 29. Here's LJ over the left side. He's bottled up and taken down, maybe a gain of 1. Defensively for Miami last week against the Bears, the Dolphins defense forced 6 turnovers. Let's take a look. All vets up front. Kevin Carter, Traylor, Holiday, and the great Jason Taylor. The linebackers, Zach Thomas in the middle, Spragan and Crowder on the outside, and in the secondary, Will Allen, the former Giant, Goodman the other corner, Jeremiah Bell and Hill are the safeties. Second down and 9 at the 30-yard line. Larry Johnson, the single setback. Here's Huard in a little bit of trouble, and he goes down. Keith Traylor with the tackle. No gain on the play. And defensively, Steve, for Miami in the first quarter, they've been terrific.
Yeah, they really get off to a good start, and that's been the key for them all year. Their defense has always been the keystone of this team, but in the first quarter, they have come in, it seems like from that statistic there, Gus, with a great game plan. They come out with a lot of emotion, and that's been the key for them to get off to good starts in these games, although they haven't translated into victories.
And the handoff going to Larry Johnson. On third down and 9, he gets to the 35. Bonnie Holiday brings him down. It's a gain of 6. But Kansas City will have to punt it away, going 3 and out on their opening series.
And that's a good example of why this Chiefs offense is a little different, Gus. On 3rd and 9 in years past, there is no way the Chiefs hand that football off under any circumstances. But with Larry Johnson, and it's like back there, it's like their head coach Herm Edwards told us, it's not a bad thing to give the ball to your opponent if you kick it to them.
So the Chiefs send it away. Wes Welker back deep. And this one ended toward the sideline, going out of bounds. Dustin Colquitt, the left-footed punter, sends it out of bounds. And that will bring on the Miami offense, a 43-yard punt. Joey Harrington came over via trade from the Detroit Lions last week. 16 of 32, 137 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Miami has gone from the 26th offense to the 16th since Harrington took over. McIntosh, James, Hadnot, Shelton, and Carey. Nick Saban feels they are the 5 best offensive linemen on this team. Ronnie Brown, a 100-yard game last week in Chicago. And they run the reverse on first down. Chambers trying to get outside, and he gets to the 22-yard line, ushered out of bounds by Patrick Surtain, the former Dolphin. Defensively for Kansas City last week against St. Louis, the Chiefs defense recovered a season-high 3 fumbles, which led to 17 points. Jared Allen leads them in sacks. He has 5. Tamahali, impressive rookie out of Penn State, with 3.5. The linebackers, Kavika Mitchell in the middle, Bell and Tierran Fox. And in the secondary, Sammy Knight and Page, the rookie, are the safeties, with Surtain and Ty Law at the cornerback position. Here's Harrington underneath, incomplete. That ball thrown with a lot of pepper on it to Brown out of the backfield. Kendrell Bell covering defensively.
Well, you see there, as good as the Miami defense was in the first quarter, their offense is just as bad. I mean, they're the only team in the NFL not to score a point in the first quarter, and that's been the difference in this team. One side of the football has played okay. The other side has not played well at all. Nick Saban told us yesterday he likes Joey Harrington. He makes quick decisions. And in that situation, he couldn't make the completion.
3rd down and 8 at the 23-yard line. Harrington in the shotgun. And he dumps it off out of the backfield. And Randy McMichael comes up with the catch. He dives forward close to the first down. Let's see where they spot it.
They're going to get the first down. That's a great job by McMichael, splitting the defenders and just leaning for the first down. I'll tell you, Gus, when you haven't scored a point in the first quarter as an offense, just that first down is a huge chance to just take a deep breath and say, okay, now we're in the game. And I'll tell you, you can't put a price on it. It's just that one little first down is exactly what you need, and they got it.
1st down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. They give it to him. And here's Brown with all sorts of running room as he crosses the 35 and gets up to the 37. Jared Page, the impressive rookie out of UCLA, with the tackle, but it's a gain of 6.
And we spoke to the head coaches, Nick Saban, and you get the feeling with Ronnie Brown and also Larry Johnson on the other side, this game could take about 2 hours to play. I mean, they want to run the football, and you see there the last 3 games, that gives them faith that Ronnie Brown can carry the load here in Miami, and they can lean on him and hold the football.
29 carries, 157 yards last week against Chicago. 2nd down and 4, Harrington sets it. Looks for the screen and nothing doing. Spelled out nicely. Ronnie Brown with the catch, but Reed makes the tackle, and James Reed is in his 6th season out of Iowa State, and that is a loss of 3.
That was a great read by Reed. I mean, he saw that screen coming and slid down the line of scrimmage. Watch, he's double teamed, keeps his head up and his eyes open, and doesn't bust through. They actually looked like they were going to double team him, and the thought would be that you kind of try and plow through it. But he kept his eyes open and his eyes in the backfield and was able to see the play develop and cut it off.
James Reed spending 5 years with the New York Jets. 3rd down and 7 at the 34. Harrington in the shotgun. Steps up, down the seam, Wes Welker. Beautiful catch, but an even better throw by Joey Harrington. And Welker has it at the 35. It's a gain of 30. And Steve, this is the best penetration for the Dolphins on an opening drive this year.
And you see here, Welker going down the middle, being covered there by Page. Page was a game-time decision because Greg Wesley had an early workout trying to get ready to play this game, the regular starter, and he couldn't go. So Page, the rookie, in there, and the Dolphins went right at him.
1st down and 10 at the 36-yard line. Here's the pitch. Brown turns the corner. And he's chopped down. Make that Sammy Morris. Chopped down by Surtain at the 33-yard line, and it's a gain of 2 yards on the play. But as I mentioned, opening drives have been a problem for the Dolphins. Their furthest penetration before today is the opponent's 44-yard line. That was week 1 against Pittsburgh.
Now that is not good. That is not good. But today they came out. You can't say enough about what that game last week in Chicago did for the offense and its confidence.
Now McMichael in motion in the backfield. Kansas City showing blitz. Harrington, pump fake, going into the end zone for Chambers. Broken up at the last minute by Page.
There was the rookie again going right at him. It was a pump fake on the outside, trying to find Chambers. Watch here, right there, Harrington pump fakes. He gets past Patrick Surtain, but Page exactly where he's supposed to be, just in time to knock that away. That's how you play defense, Gus, in the secondary. And the rookie made a great play on that long pass.
7th-round draft pick out of UCLA. He was a 4-year starter for the Bruins. 3rd down and 8 at the 34. 9th play of the drive that started at the Miami 21. Harrington to the sideline. He puts that one right on the money. Terrific looking pass. Derek Hagan, the rookie out of Arizona State, 3rd-round pick, gains 11.
You watch here working up the sideline. You got to convince the DB that you're going deep. And so many times people think it's about outrunning a defensive back. A lot of times it's about fooling them. And you see Joey Harrington standing right in the pocket, right where the offensive line knows he's going to be. And what he does that Dante Culpepper didn't do is throw the football on time.
1st down and 10 at the 23. Hagan, a very impressive young receiver, all-time leading receiver at Arizona State. They throw this one to the far side, and Marty Booker tries to get around Ty Law, gains 3 yards as Law brings him down.
And you see there Booker's kind of shaking his head at himself. He stumbled and fell. Didn't even have to be tackled. And that's, you know, as he's tapping he knows, hey man, that was me. He's going to be embarrassed in films tomorrow, because that was a play that was going to get 5 yards. Even if Ty Law made the tackle right away, Booker was going to fall forward, but it only ended up a 2-yard gain.
So Joey Harrington has hit 5 different receivers. He's 5 of 7 to start this game. Sammy Morris remains in the backfield. Here's Harrington, play fake, scrambling, jumps it off to his tight end, Justin Peel, and Peel is wrapped up by Kavika Mitchell. Not much of a gain on the play as Harrington hits his 6th different receiver.
I like this about Harrington. You see there, he looks down the field, looks back the other way, takes 2 steps, and as soon as he feels he has to run, he's looking to dump it. He doesn't want to extend the play, doesn't want to try and run down the field, just get it out of his hands. That's, even though it was a 2-yard loss, that's not that much of a negative play. Harrington doing the right things, not trying to do too much.
3rd down and 8 at the 21-yard line. Dolphins have to get inside the 15. Here's Harrington again with time at the sideline, and that one sails out of bounds, intended for Chambers. So the Dolphins will bring on the field goal unit. Olindo Mare, 6 of 7 lifetime against Kansas City. Had a couple of good games in the past. And here's Mare, 12 of 19 on the year.
And you think, Gus, they came out in the first quarter, had a chance to get down close, maybe score a touchdown, and this is the best drive they've had all year.
This one from 40 yards away, and it is good. So the Dolphins, with a very solid opening drive, they put 3 points on the board and take the lead. Back after this. Welcome back. Miami with a 3-0 lead here in the first quarter. Dolphins ready to send it away. As you take a look at the scoring drive, 13 plays covering 58 yards. Dolphins held it for 558. Ronnie Brown, folks, has a slight groin injury, but he is expected to return to the game for the Dolphins. So Mare sends it away. Dante Hall will get another opportunity as he brings it out of the end zone. And Hall lost the ball. Fumble. Miami has it. The Dolphins look to have the football. They forced 3 turnovers last week against Chicago, resulting in 17 points off turnovers. Special teams playing a big role.
Still no signal from the officials, Gus. And you're right, that was the key. Oh, and the Chiefs got it back.
What happens on the bottom of those piles?
That ball may have changed possession 3 different times. Gus, the strongest cat gets it, and the meanest one. Whatever, if you sink the lowest, you may get the football.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Chevrolet, America's brand. Chevy, an American revolution. And by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything.
Welcome back to Dolphin Stadium. Miami with a 3-0 lead. Chiefs take over at their own 18-yard line. Larry Johnson. And Johnson crosses the 20. A 3-yard gain on the play. Let's take another look at Dante Hall returning this kick.
As he gets out, and the coverage unit does a really nice job. And this is what happens when you get him to stop and start going sideways. Then somebody gets the big hit, and it looked like the Dolphins came up with it. Eddie Jackson catches this ball, it looks like right out of the air. And we're going to miss it right there, but it looked like the Dolphins came down with it, but somehow or other the Chiefs battled under the pile and got it.
2nd down and 8. They hand it to Johnson once again, and Johnson gets to the 23-yard line, stopped on the play by Matt Roth. And yesterday, Herman Edwards told us that when it comes to giving Larry the football, the Chiefs offense has to be patient, rather. They have to continue to feed number 27.
And as long as their offense can keep them in the game and keep it to a close game or keep a lead, and that's one thing this team does better now than it did in past years, is protect leads better, and Larry Johnson's a big reason why.
So a 3rd and 4 for Damon Huard at the 24-yard line. Back to pass, has that one deflected, picked up Eddie Kennison. Somehow hauled that one down. Jeremiah Bell with the tackle, and it's a gain of 2.
What looked to be disastrous for the Chiefs for a moment ends up being a pretty good play. Look at the catch by Eddie Kennison. He knows, he feels all of the guys around him and the good pressure on Huard. That's David Bowens, and gosh, that's good play on both ends of that play, Gus. A great play by Bowens and a great play by Kennison to save it.
So Kansas City has to punt it away once again. Colquitt at the 11-yard line. Wes Welker at the 29. End over end kick. Welker will get an opportunity. He starts from the 34 with the seam, and Wes Welker up to the 44-yard line. A 40-yard punt and a 10-yard return. D. Brown with the tackle on special teams. Great day in Miami with the Dolphins leading at 3-0 over the Chiefs. Dolphins with terrific field position, starting from their own 44-yard line, 1st down and 10. And Joey Harrington spreading the football around nicely. He's hit 6 different receivers. 1st down and 10. Sammy Morris remains in at tailback. Short drop, Harrington looking to the sideline, incomplete. Closest man to the football is Chris Chambers.
You see there Joey Harrington throwing the football very quick over the top. Had probably time to pull it back down, but that's one thing he does well. And this offensive line for the last 3 weeks finally getting a little bit of continuity. They made a big move in flipping Damian McIntosh from right guard to left tackle and L.J. Shelton from left tackle to right guard. And that seems to have been a fix for the Dolphins in their offensive line.
Sammy Morris over the right side, lowers his shoulder and is chopped down. A lot of good hitting going on.
You talk about this offensive line of the Dolphins, Gus, as Ronnie Brown over there continues to work on that groin injury, but they had, this is the L.J. Shelton, the 5th right guard the Dolphins have tried in this season. And finally, Nick Saban said, you know what, we need to just get our best 5 guys out there, put them in positions where they can be successful and stick with them. And it seems to have started to pay off.
3rd down and 6 at the 48. Welker in motion and some movement up front. James Reed crossing the line of scrimmage.
Encroachment, defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Those are the kind of penalties, Gus, that really don't show up that much on the stat sheet, but it turns a 3rd and 7 into a 3rd and 2, maybe a little less than 3rd and 2. And sooner or later, that stuff kind of eats away at your ability to get on and off the field as a defense.
So the Dolphins now with the football at the Kansas City 47, 3rd down and 1. Morris. Morris, second effort, dives forward. It'll be close.
They're not going to give it to him.
Kendrell Bell with the tackle for Kansas City.
And this is where Ronnie Brown is missed. Sammy Morris is a good running back, but he's not the same guy as Ronnie Brown. Sammy Morris 218 pounds, Ronnie Brown 232. and he's a guy that can get those kind of tough yards.
Ironically, Miami had converted on 11 of 12 3rd-and-1s this season. They will have to punt it away. Donnie Jones stands at the 39. Dante Hall at his own 10. Jones sending this one high into the air. Takes a bounce and gets into the end zone. A 47-yard punt. A net of 27 yards, so the Chiefs will have it at their own 20 when we come back.
NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac. Check out the Cadillac Navigation event going on now. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit. And by Dell, business solutions designed for one company in mind. Yours, Dell, purely you.
Welcome back. Chiefs with the football at their own 20-yard line. Larry Johnson, the deep man. Chris Wilson, the fullback. Here's Huard throwing on first down, and he's hit as he lets it go, and it's complete. Tony Gonzalez managing to cradle the football. Zach Thomas with the tackle.
They're going to have to do something with the pressure that is coming right at Damon Huard. Watch as it comes right off the same side, the right side. This time it's Crowder who gets in there, knocks his arm, and this is just a great adjustment by Gonzalez. It's a, you know, you can see the athleticism. He's got to stop, and this is not a light guy, a little 5'8", 160 guy. That's a big tight end who stops, comes back, and makes the catch.
39 catches for Tony Gonzalez this season. 2nd down and 10. At the 20-yard line, here's the draw play. Larry Johnson looking for a hole. Not a lot there. Andre Goodman coming up with the tackle, and it's a gain of 3. Trent Green is the 3rd quarterback today, and Green has been out since week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, scrambling out of the pocket. Trent Green takes a severe blow to the head, suffered a concussion. And Damon Huard forced to come into the game after the injury. Cincinnati beating Kansas City 23-10 in that game. And Huard throwing once again. Eddie Kennison, the intended receiver. Goodman defensively. But Trent Green, as we mentioned, is the 3rd quarterback, and he should be ready to play full-time pretty soon.
Yeah, we're interested because Herm Edwards was kind of backing up about putting him right back in. And the last thing we asked him when we spoke to him yesterday was what happens when Trent Green's healthy enough to play, and he hesitated and kind of looked at his shoes and said, well, at the end of the day, he's the quarterback of this team.
Kansas City forced to punt. Colquitt inside his own 10, and Wes Welker is at the 30. Short. Welker comes up to the 35, fields it, and breaks it back. Welker, a nice run. And he gets inside Kansas City territory. A 42-yard punt, an 18-yard return. Kendall Gammon with the tackle. Back after this. The MetLife Blimp. Snoopy 1 is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for the MetLife Blimps as they team up with CBS for more coverage this month. Get complete NFL coverage and follow all the action online while you watch the game with NFL.com's Game Center. It's all at NFL.com. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker, Dolphins Stadium here in Miami. And the Fins take over inside Kansas City territory. Ronnie Brown playing with a tweaked groin injury back in the game. 1st down and 10 at the 48. Peel in motion. Here's Brown. Lowering his shoulder, and Brown goes backwards after he gains 4 yards on the play. Ke'Aaron Fox with the stop. And Ke'Aaron Fox, Steve, today is playing in place of Derek Johnson, who's out with an ankle injury. And Derek Johnson having a terrific season. He's tied with Kavika Mitchell for the lead in tackles this year for KC. 2nd down and 6 at the 44. Ronnie Brown, the single setback. They give it to him over the right side. And Brown is chopped down at the 43. A 2-yard gain. San Diego, Cincinnati. Here's James Brown in New York.
All right, fellas, take a look here in almost a must-win situation for Cincinnati. Jeremy Johnson capping a 3-yard touchdown run here, which actually caps a 6-play, 62-yard drive. Cincinnati has lost 4 of the last 5. They're on top, 7-0. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, and that San Diego defense missing Sean Merriman, who has been suspended for 4 games, and this is the 2nd game of his suspension that he's missing. 3rd down 4 at the 42. Harrington to the sideline, caught. Morris breaks the tackle, and he gets to the 36-yard line. Jared Page with the tackle, but it's a gain of 6.
Sammy Morris is a special teams guy for the Dolphins, a backup running back, and he's going to carry a lot more of the load today because Ronnie Brown is in and out of the lineup with that sore groin muscle. He's a good running back to catch the ball out of the backfield, as you saw just there. He's more of an all-around guy, good athlete, but I don't know if they're going to give the ball to somebody 30 times. I don't think it's going to be Sammy Morris.
Joey Harrington playing with a lot of confidence. He's hit 7 different receivers, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. With the score, Miami 3, Kansas City nothing. Far side. Welcome back. Dolphins with a 3-0 lead at the Kansas City 36. Travis Minor is checked in for Miami. Harrington rolling, throws on the run. McMichael somehow manages to scoop it up off the turf and gets to the 30, a 6-yard pickup as Kavika Mitchell brings him down. And McMichael is hurt.
Yeah, we spoke to McMichael on Friday, and he knew that these linebackers for the Chiefs are young and athletic, and they're very physical. And on that play, they were a little too physical. He's going to have to come off the field. He's not holding his left arm in a normal position.
As you take a look at what Randy McMichael has done during his career, 4th all-time as a tight end in receptions, 2nd and 4 at the 30. Play action, Harrington all day to throw to Chambers, and that one thrown high. Jared Page covering defensively.
Yeah, he's just missed him. Harrington was wanting Chambers to go deeper towards the touchdown. Chambers coming a little flatter. I think a quarterback's got to put that football on the receiver out in front of him. He just didn't give him a chance to catch that football. But Joey Harrington, the thing that he's done better, I think, as the weeks have progressed, Gus has cut out his mistakes. Fewer and fewer mistakes have meant better and better offense. And it hasn't been he's playing better, he's just playing smarter.
3rd down and 4 at the 30-yard line. Dolphins 4 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Here's Harrington, steps up in the pocket, and he wants to run. Joey Harrington slides down at the 22, and he has a 1st down. A gain of 7.
That's a smart run by Harrington. He's not one of those guys that's going to do that a lot. But you see, when it's there and you just need a few yards for a 1st down, just get it. The pump fake is always good for a quarterback. I mean, never ceases to freeze the defense when the quarterback's running, and pump fakes it. It gives him a little extra bit to get some gaps and get some space to run in. Good play by Harrington.
1st down at the 23. Here's Ronnie Brown, and Brown lowering his shoulder. It gets to the 15. Ty Law stands him up, but it's a gain of 8.
That's a great run on 1st down, down close. The Dolphins would love to do that. When you get down inside the 20, you got to be able to run the football to be effective. Watch as the offensive line gets out to the 2nd level. The linebackers there, the running backs, are blocked for by the wide receivers. Everybody gets into the run game, and it turns into a 9-yard run. And that's what it is, guys. Everybody gives so much credit to the running back, but the other 10 guys make it go.
Ronnie Brown with a 65-yard run last year against Kansas City. 8th play of the drive that started at the 48. Brown makes the 1st man miss. Steps out of the way of the 2nd man and gets inside the 10. De'Aaron Fox managed to trip him up, but Ronnie Brown gained 6 yards.
Watch as the linebacker, I think it's Kavika Mitchell, comes right up, whoop, runs right by him. He had that play stopped 4 yards deep. Watch, right there, boom. Ronnie Brown just sidesteps him and gets the big gain for the 1st down. That's just a running back beating a linebacker in the hole.
Brown, 5 carries, 26 yards. First down and goal at the 9. Barnes and Brown in the I formation for the Dolphins. Here's Brown, turns the corner, cuts it inside, and goes down at the 4. Patrick Surtain and Reed with the tackle, but it's a 5-yard pickup.
Well, Gus, I don't know how bad Ronnie Brown's groin is hurting him, but it doesn't look too bad right now. And that offensive line is really doing a nice job up front. The guards in the center, Hadnot, are being able to get up to the second level and get on those athletic and fast linebackers of the Chiefs and just not letting them run to the football.
Ronnie Brown averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Last 3 carries, 5 yards, 6 yards, and 8 yards. Second and goal at the 4. Brown again. Throws it in the end zone. Incomplete. Chambers knocked out of bounds by Surtain.
Yeah, Chambers said that they pushed him out after he caught the football. He's saying he would have come down in bounds. I don't think there's any way. That was a good play. Ronnie Brown threw the ball a little high and far. You'll see in the back of the end zone, Ronnie Brown takes it, goes to the end, and Chambers out the back. Well saw. Patrick Surtain saw it very late. You see him get there, and you see there, would he have come down in bounds? Oh, it doesn't look. Oh, I don't know. That's a close call. It could go either way, but it's a no call by the official. I think a good one. I don't think he would have come down in bounds, Gus.
And Joey Harrington calls a timeout. 11:26 remaining in the second quarter. Dolphins with the lead, knocking on the door.
A moment ago, Chris Chambers in the back of the end zone was pushed out by Patrick Surtain, but the officials ruled that he would not have come down in bounds anyway, and you wonder why the Dolphins didn't challenge that. You can't. It's a judgment call, and you can't review a judgment call by the officials whether you like it or not. So that's the reason that Nick Saban kept the flag in his pocket.
Third down and goal at the 4-yard line. Harrington audibly now at the line of scrimmage. Wes Welker is in the slot. Here's Harrington, looks backside and throws it out of bounds. Wise decision by Joey Harrington.
It's not all bad. When you're disappointed about not getting the touchdown, you had a shot to play before, but you know what? You got a good kicker, send him out there and go up 6-0. Watch the coverage here, working out there against Lenny Walls. And that's just basketball right there. Don't touch him, just stay there, shuffle your feet, and what the defensive back Lenny Walls did, he stays a yard away from him and watches his eyes. When his eyes go up to catch the ball, he'll turn around and leap and try and knock it away.
Orlando Mare in to attempt a 22-yarder, and it's good. Mare has just become the first Dolphin to reach the 1,000-point plateau. 6-0 Dolphins.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. For the hottest new technology, think Circuit City. Just what I needed. Red Lobster. Indulge in all the irresistible shrimp you want. It's endless shrimp, only at Red Lobster. And by the Civic from Honda. Reverse your thinking.
Welcome back. As you take a look at the scoring drive, 12 plays, 44 yards. Orlando Mare with his second field goal. He has 1,001 career points now with Miami. Mare will send it away. This one coming right into your living room, folks. Dante Hall back deep. And Hall will take a knee, and the Chiefs will start from the 20. Tuesday on CBS, it's not brain surgery. Well, actually it is. Don't miss the premiere of 3 Pounds, a new medical drama, Tuesday after the unit.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I was thinking.
I know what you were thinking.
No,
I know what you were thinking. It has to do with my 3-pound brain that's not quite 3 pounds.
Or maybe 2.5.
There you go. I know what you were thinking.
50 concussions is a 7-time Pro Bowler. First down and 10 for Kansas City at the 20. And the Chief offense struggling a bit here in the first half. Only 16, make that 18 yards of total offense.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Sammy Parker.
You see here, Damon Huard, that's the pass. They got couple of tip passes, trying to get the ball out, a drop pass, and then the defense stepping up. This Miami defense in the first quarter all year has only given up 4 field goals. They have not given up a touchdown all year in the first quarter on Miami defense. It's been a great start for this team.
Huard down the sideline. Kennison broken up at the last moment. Jeremiah Bell coming over and making the play.
Jeremiah Bell got the start last week in Chicago, and looks for a moment like Kennison's going to be there. And this is the exact reason why they've stuck Jeremiah Bell in there. He has great ball skills. Nick Saban told us they liked him in pass coverage better than Traveris Tillman, the guy that he replaced. He's not as good in the run game, but when the ball's in the air, this is the guy they want out there. And today, he's showing why.
Bell in his 3rd year out of Eastern Kentucky, a former walk-on. And now Larry Johnson, a blue chipper, all the way up to the 24. Zach Thomas with the tackle, and that's a gain of 10.
You know, the Chiefs have always been, through the years, a great team in Arrowhead Stadium, but they've struggled on the road. A lot of teams struggle on the road, but not very many of them struggle as badly as the Chiefs do. And Herman Edwards said one reason: they had a bad philosophy for road games. They were, we're going to outscore you kind of offense. Now they're a little better, that they manage the game and the clock in their run game.
3rd down and 5. Huard underneath, broken up at the last moment. Will Allen. And that is the 4th straight 3-and-out for the Kansas City Chiefs offense as they prepare to send it away.
Oh, you can't play it any better than that. Will Allen just all over Dante Hall. Huard trying to fit it in there, but you can't fit it in through the guy. I mean, he's lucky it got batted down and it wasn't a great catch for an interception.
Colquitt stands at the 10-yard line. Wes Welker deep at his own 30. And watch Welker. He is a dangerous man returning the football. High spiraling kick. Welker to the sideline. Starts from the 26. Wes Welker turns it up and almost broke it. He gets to the 40-yard line. Boomer Grigsby with the tackle. A 14-yard return. 10:23 to go in the second quarter. Dolphins with the 6-0 lead and the football. And don't forget, don't miss a play, stat, or story with CBS Sportsline Sunday Game Center. Follow every game with lightning-fast scoring and play the hottest head-to-head trivia game on the web, Trivia Tower. It's all free at CBSSportsline.com. 1st down and 10 at the 39. For Miami, play action. Harrington rolling out of the pocket, throws on the run, and he has his tight end, Randy McMichael. A 5-yard gain. Jared Page with the stop, the safety.
Miami Dolphins getting the quick pass, and I think it's great that they design these plays. As you see there, the offensive plays. Miami has dominated time of possession, total yards, and the number of plays. You see there the time of possession. That's what both these teams would like to do. Today, the Dolphins are the ones getting it done.
2nd down and 5. Ronnie Brown straight ahead. And look at him, move those feet. Gets to midfield, 6-yard pickup. Eric Hicks with the tackle.
Because there's a couple of things going on in this game. The Chiefs come out of their offensive huddle and shift and motion, then they'll shift again and motion again. So the defensive responsibilities of the Dolphins change about 3 times. On that play, the Dolphins broke the huddle very quick, sprinted to the line of scrimmage like they were going to quick snap, and got the Chiefs to declare what defense they were in, and then, of course, handed it for the power run. Both these offenses trying to get a pre-snap advantage on the defense.
1st down and 10 from midfield. Brown hopping, skipping through the hole. And he picks up 3.
One thing that as this game progresses here, we are in the first half, about halfway through the second quarter, Gus. And one of the things, I was down on the field today, it is smoking hot. And later in the game, these guys are going to start to wilt. And I think it's important that you watch these defenses. Both of them are running guys on and off the field. It's tough to do that offensively. They only got 5 offensive linemen to play, but they can run 15 if they had them defensive linemen to stay fresh. That's going to take its toll.
Draw play. They pitch it back. Harrington. Welker's wide open. Chambers is wide open. Touchdown. Or make that down at the 1. That play fooled everybody.
You called it, Gus. Welker was wide open. Chambers was wide open. The Chiefs bit, and they bit hard on this handoff to Ronnie Brown. He takes a hop, then tosses it back, and Harrington launches it deep, and now they got a quick snap for the Dolphins. Once again, trying to get us an advantage quick with a lineup. And it forced the Chiefs to take a timeout. That's great preparation, Gus.
Joey Harrington throwing another beautiful ball. And right now, Miami has it at the 1.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new 7-passenger Acura MDX. Acura Advance. And by new Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream. Get buried in cream.
Six to nothing Miami, 8:12 to play in the second quarter, and the Dolphins have the football at the Kansas City 1. Joey Harrington hooking up with Chris Chambers for a 46-yard reception. As you take a look at the ball inside the 1-yard line for Miami. Joey Harrington, empty backfield. Now Brown lines up. Chambers, the deep man. They give it to Brown. Touchdown. Ronnie Brown with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins take a 12-0 lead.
Well, Gus, to this point of the game with 8:09 left in the second quarter, the Chiefs have been absolutely dominated. The shift to the receiver in the backfield does something to the defense of the Chiefs that they just do not cover the fullback, which ends up being Ronnie Brown.
Extra point is up and good. Ronnie Brown scores. Miami 5-play drive, 61 yards, and they take a 13-0 lead. 8:09 to play in the second quarter. Dolphins up 13-0. Let's take another look.
Yeah, a moment ago, the flea flicker. This is the end of it. You wonder, is he out of bounds? And right there, as his arm goes down, when his elbow touches the ground, he is down. And it's where the ball is, and the officials got it exactly right on the 1-foot line and ended up setting up the touchdown.
So Mare sends it away. Dante Hall starts from the 3. And Hall goes down at the 22. Great special teams coverage. Travaris Tillman, a 19-yard return.
Chiefs will start out 1st and 10 from their own 22.
So here come the Kansas City Chiefs back onto the field, looking to try to get something going, Steve, offensively.
No question, they've had a lot of 3-and-outs today. They have not been effective at all. Larry Johnson's been bottled up, and they haven't thrown the ball at all.
28 total yards of offense for Kansas City from their own 22. Larry Johnson running straight ahead, and he crosses the 25, gets to the 27. Jeff Scanina, the 14-year veteran, with the tackle, a 5-yard gain.
A moment ago, we saw Chris Chambers almost get in for the touchdown. He didn't get the touchdown. He set up the touchdown, and look at that. If he'd have gotten that, hey, if he'd have gotten that touchdown, he'd have 5,000 yards, Gus.
On the nose.
On the button. He may get it today.
2nd down and 5 at the 27. Johnson again. And Larry Johnson gets to the 30, wrestled down by Zach Thomas.
Talk about how it's gone today for the Chiefs. That's it. I mean, you want to know why they're struggling. 3-and-outs all day. And here they have a 3rd and 2, fighting against going 5 for 5, 1, 2, 3-and-out.
From the 30-yard line, Larry Johnson in the backfield as Trent Green looks on. Tony Gonzalez, the motion man. Huard with time, and it's incomplete. Sammy Parker, the intended receiver, broken up by Zach Thomas. And once again, the Chiefs offense comes up empty. 5 straight 3-and-outs.
You see, here's Parker comes across the formation. This is a ball that you got to catch. I mean, it's low and behind him. But you got to come up with that when your team's struggling. A lot of times, that's the reason. Guys just miss catches that might be tough catches, but still catches you got to make. They've had 2 tipped passes for receptions. They haven't done anything in their passing game yet. They're going to have to stay on this football field and try and get a win here.
Colquitt punting from the 15. Welker back at the 25. End over end kick. It's short. Welker, fair catch. He gets drilled. And that is a penalty. A penalty coming up against Kansas City. Bernard Pollard. And he was running full speed, and Wes Welker got drilled.
And that's the kind of thing that'll start a scuffle now. If you're going to go down there and whack Wes Welker, who's a key guy for this Miami offense, and get a free shot on him, you're going to get a scuffle going.
Personal foul, fair catch interference, number 49, kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
You'll see here, he called a late fair catch. Doesn't matter. I don't care how late it is. You're responsible for hitting that guy. Let me tell you, there is no worse job in the National Football League than returning punts. There's nothing worse. And that's one of the reasons why. There's about 10 more I can give you. That's one reason why it stinks.
First down and 10 at midfield for Miami. They've had great field position all afternoon. Play action, Harrington to the sideline. Whoa, that one incomplete. Surtain standing right on the play. Marty Booker, the intended receiver, on the far side.
There's good coverage on the outside. Surtain really having a nice day today. He's doing some things in the passing. You see there the baseball roll. That is a veteran defensive back. Turning his back on the receiver, almost mirroring him like it was choreographed. I mean, it takes a lot of experience and a lot of confidence to turn your back on the guy you're covering.
Second down and 10. Surtain, 2-time Pro Bowler, former Dolphin. And Miami calls a timeout.
Play clock was down. They had to take it.
1 timeout remaining for the Dolphins here in the first half. Coming up at halftime on the Sprint Halftime Report, JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer will have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Second down and 10 at midfield. Randy McMichael in motion. Ronnie Brown running, looking for a crease, and he stumbles forward and gets to the 46. Gains 4 yards on the play.
You talk about this Miami Dolphins offense. They've tried a few things in this first half. There's Mike Mularkey, who has spent the last 2 years as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, had a penchant for running trick plays. He did it today. The big flea flicker. He tried a halfback pass to get in for the touchdown and also started the game with a reverse. You know, you got to really stay sharp as a defense when Mularkey's calling the plays, because he'll pull them out of the sack.
Formerly an offensive coordinator with Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third down and 6 at the 46. Sammy Moore's in the backfield. Quick strike. Oh, wow. Michael makes a great catch as he turns all the way around and hauls it in. De'Aaron Fox with the tackle, but it's a gain of 8.
You see there, we just spoke about Mike Mularkey as they got there's the halfback pass called. Then the flea flicker for the big play that set up their only touchdown of the day. It ended right there. And then they started the game with a big end around play that didn't get any yards, but also set them up for later. I mean, they really pull out a lot of things out of their toolbox.
First down and 10 at the 38. Here's the pitch to Brown, who turns the corner. And Brown going out of bounds at the 33, ushered out of bounds by Jared Allen.
And that's another misdirection you saw there. Is one of the sidelines workers. Oh, that's one of our guys. He got a CBS Sports thing on his arm. Hey, is he all right?
Yeah, he's all right. He's a tough man.
He got caught by the misdirection too, I guess. They faked the inside run and then pitched it on the outside to Ronnie Brown, and that's a play a lot of teams will do. It's a quick sweep right there, bang.
And John, holding the microphone on the sideline, goes down hard. Well, it looks like he's okay. 2nd down and 4 at the 32. Here's Brown following his block, and this time he's tackled from behind. Jimmy Wilkerson, 4th year out of Oklahoma, no gain on the play.
And the offensive line couldn't get that sealed off on the backside. It was a big, old-fashioned power run game where the two backs fill into the hole. They seal it off to one side, and nobody could get there.
Kansas City defense has been on the field for an awfully long time. Dolphins have held the football for 17 minutes and 44 seconds. 3rd down and 4 at the 32. Dolphins 6 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Here comes a blitz. And it's batted down by Jared Allen. And now Olindo Mare will come in to attempt a field goal.
And you'll see here, this is another quick little screen pass they were going to run. Jared Allen sees it, gets up the field, and on that, so I think Sammy Moore should have gone out there. The fullback should have gone out and gone low on Jared Allen, trying to get his hands down. That's one of the techniques that a running back will use when he knows his quarterback is throwing it out there. You got to do something to get that guy's hands down, and Sammy Moore's waited too long.
A 50-yard field goal attempt for Mare, and it is no good.
Oh, he glanced it off the left upright.
3:58 to play in the 2nd quarter. Football, a game of inches. Play action, Huard setting up in the pocket, looks for Kennison, goes up high and can't hold on. Eddie Kennison crunched Jeremiah Bell, comes up with the tackle. Ronaldo Hill there as well.
Once again, Huard trying to find somebody down the field. They have really struggled in their pass game, and what a big hit there by Taylor. That messes the timing of this route all up. Kennison has to cut it a little bit short because of that, and Huard had thrown it to the old spot, got to go up high. That may come back to help the Dolphins later on, delivering big hits like that in the secondary. You'll get those receivers looking around.
Huard is 1 of 7 for 2 yards. 2nd and 10. Back to throw again to the sideline, and it's caught. Sammy Parker holding on, and he picks up the 1st down in front of Zach Thomas. That's the first down of the game for Kansas City. A gain of 13, and we have 3:34 remaining here in the 1st half.
And Sammy Parker making up for the drop ball on 3rd and short in the last series, comes back and makes a really tough catch deep on the sidelines. And now the Chiefs, I mean, you can tell, look at this, Gus. They break the huddle, very crisp. They feel just a little better. They got to get something going, and the passing game has just deserted them here in the early going. They finally get a completion.
1st down from the Miami 47. Larry Johnson. And Larry Johnson down at the 44. Donnie Spragan. And it's a gain of 3.
What patience. Larry Johnson coming in, just puts his hand on the back of Chris Bober and just rides him. Just patient, doesn't try to outrun anybody, just goes, sticks his nose right up into the line of scrimmage and plows ahead for a nice 3-yard gain. This Chiefs running game is nothing but a power, physical running game. It may pay off in the 4th quarter if they stay close enough to keep it in the game.
Michael Bennett is checked in. He goes in motion out of the backfield. Huard underneath. Tony Gonzalez with the catch. Keeps running. And the big tight end spins down at the 34. Spragan again with the tackle. And that's the first reception of the game for Tony Gonzalez.
As much as the Chiefs were struggling early on, 5 possessions, 3 and out, you can tell they were talking to each other on the sidelines about getting something together, and they put it together. You can do no wrong giving it to number 88.
Maybe the last play before the 2-minute warning. And they won't get it off in time. 2 minutes remaining in the 1st half. Dolphins up 13-0. Welcome back as you take a look at the offensive plays. 37 for Miami, only 19 for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs putting together a solid drive here. 1st down and 10 at the Miami 34. Huard out of the shotgun. Delayed handoff to Larry Johnson. He finds a hole over the right side and gets to the 30 before Zach Thomas brings him down. And it's a gain of 4.
The Chiefs trailing by 13 here late in the first half. There's two things they're thinking about on this drive. They want to get points. There's no question they've got to get on the board in some way, shape, or fashion. Preferably, obviously, with a touchdown, but they'd also like to get out of here with no time left on the clock.
2nd down and 6 at the 30. Huard steps up and he's hit as he throws it. Incomplete. Zach Thomas, Donnie Sprague both in the backfield. Sprague getting to Damon Huard first.
You'll watch, you could see it coming, and this is why you need a big left tackle and some help, because he can't see him coming. He can feel it, but he can't see it, and he can't get rid of the football. This is what's called the blind side, and that's why. Bang, that ball ends up in the 3rd row because Sprague hit him right as he was throwing.
3rd down and 6 at the 30. Chiefs are 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversion. Michael Bennett remaining in the game at tailback. Here's Huard. Down the sideline for Dante Hall, incomplete.
Now this is going to turn into like a 47-yard attempt, Gus, and that's not the way you want to start your scoring opportunities at this point in the game with a minute left in the first half. Your first chance is a 47-yard or 48-yard attempt. It has not gone well for Kansas City in the first half.
Lawrence Tynes comes on to attempt the 48-yarder. 12 of 15 on the season. His long 53 yards. Colquitt is the holder. Got it up.
Somebody got a piece of it.
No good.
Jason Taylor got a piece of that, I think, Gus. He came through. You heard it click, and I think he did get a piece of it. And once again, the big guy, 99, steps up and makes a play for the Dolphins, and it results in not points for his own team, but certainly a lack of points for the Chiefs. Right there, he got a hand right up in between the center guard. Didn't get much of it, but got enough of it. See, he knows he got a piece of it.
So the Dolphins take over at the 38 with 1:09 remaining. Miami with 1 timeout left. Sammy Morris in the backfield. And they give it to Morris running straight ahead. Jared Allen with the tackle. It's a gain of 5 yards.
That's how you play with the lead right there.
And don't forget, coming up at halftime on the Sprint Halftime Report, JB, Dan Shannon, and Boomer will have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Harrington throwing over the middle, and it's caught at midfield. Randy McMichael, the tight end, picks up 7 yards.
And now the Dolphins might think about taking a timeout or getting a first down. I think they were perfectly happy, but when they got the nice run on first down, the Dolphins have never shut a team out in the first half. You just saw, and there's a miscommunication. Because I think when they got that nice run on first down and then the first down, it gave them the opportunity to say, well, wait a minute now, instead of just running the clock out, maybe we will take a little chance here, roll the dice, and try and get down in field goal range.
Joey Harrington has had a very solid first half, 12 of 21, 126 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Completed a big 46-yarder to Chris Chambers to set up a touchdown. 2nd and 10 at midfield. Harrington to the sideline. Wes Welker with the catch at the 42. Ty Law with the stop. It's a 9-yard gain.
And Miami took their last time out right there.
15 seconds remaining. Dolphins with the lead and the football. And we'd like to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing today's aerial coverage of all the drama below. Look for Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. 3rd down and 1 at the 41 for Miami. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Harrington looking incomplete. That one thrown over the head of Marty Booker. With 9 seconds to go.
I think the Dolphins will go for it here. because the Chiefs have got 2 timeouts. If they wanted to get the football back and hold them on 4th down, they could. But I think the Dolphins, I think you try and do everything. You run the football, try and get the 1st down, and then make them use a timeout. If you don't get it, they'll have to use a timeout. Well, no, they won't, because the clock will stop on the turnover.
So 4th down and 1.
Herm Edwards just took a timeout.
Timeout, Kansas City. 30-second timeout.
So a short timeout called by Herm Edwards.
That's smart, because he doesn't want to give it. It looked like the Dolphins were going to try one of the Hail Marys, and that's one thing you can't afford to give up if you're the Chiefs. That would be death. So he wanted to call a timeout, make sure he's got his guys lined up. You see there, he's upset about something. He's making sure they know that they've got time with 9 seconds left. If they complete a short route, forget about the Hail Mary. If they complete the short route, they might be able to get up and spike the ball fast enough to get a field goal off.
So on 4th down and 1. Harrington rolling out of the pocket. Throws. And it's incomplete with 4 seconds to go.
Now that stops the clock, and it's going to go over to Kansas City. It's going to give them 1 play before halftime with 3 seconds. I don't know if I agree with that strategy. I think I run the football right there, and if you get the 1st down, fine. At least the half ends without the other team getting the football. And I know they were trying to get an out pattern, catch the football, get out of bounds with a couple of seconds on the clock, but now you've got to play defense in a half that you really shouldn't have had to do that.
Been a dreadful 1st half for this Kansas City team. Huard, 3 of 11, 25 yards. They have 66 yards in total offense. As Huard approaches the line of scrimmage.
Play the draw.
Final play of the 1st half. Huard to Hall in the slot. He's trying to pitch it and is unable to find a teammate, and that's the end of the 1st half with the score. The Dolphins 13 and the Chiefs nothing. Big 1st half for Joey Harrington, 13 of 24, 135 yards. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.
They left.
I'm James Brown in New York, and coming up on the Sprint halftime report, all the scores and highlights from Week 10. The Sprint halftime report is next. I'm James Brown in New York. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, all the scores and highlights, including Indy looking to go 9-0 after this word from your local station.
Let's win. That's all it is. It ain't about getting the ball, man. I need them W's.
Damon Huard is my most surprising player because he's keeping them in the thick of things.
Tony Romo seems to only look for one person, and that's T.O.
When they locked me out of the facility, that hurt. But when one door closes, another one opens.
Forget all the hurt. Now he has an opportunity to go to the playoffs again with Baltimore and maybe get to a Super Bowl.
The NFL Today, Sundays at noon Eastern on CBS. CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Power up.
And welcome back to our New York studios in the Sprint halftime report. I'm James Brown, along with the famous ones, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. Only 83 total yards in the 1st half by Kansas City, trailing the Dolphins. Dan.
And look at here, right here, Joey Harrington. This is called a flea flicker pass, as Boomer likes to say. He throws the Chris Chambers in the corner of the end zone. He doesn't get in. Then Ronnie Brown right up the middle from the fullback position. That's a touchdown. I used to call it lateral to the quarterback pass, but whatever you want, Boom.
Boomer.
The Dolphins, so the Chiefs have got to feel like they've got to make some adjustments and get their offense on track. That's been the difference.
All right, let's take a look at the 1st half statistics and take us through them, Steve.
Well, the main one is at the bottom, the time of possession. The Dolphins had the football the entire 1st half, or 2/3 of it, and the 3rd down conversions. There's no way you can win a football game if you can't convert 3rd downs. And right there, you see Chiefs just haven't been able to stay on the football field. Total plays, they almost doubled the total plays. I mean, The Dolphins have dominated the first half, and the Chiefs have only managed to keep it within 13 points. It could have been much worse had the Dolphins been better in the red zone.
So we start the second half. Miami will get the football. Wes Welker is back deep. Tynes tees it up at the 30. So here's Welker starting from the 2. Dives forward, it gets to the 25. A 23-yard return for Wes Welker.
Yeah, in the first half, Gus, we said that the Dolphins hadn't scored on their first possession all season. Well, when they come out after halftime, they're almost the best in the league, trailing only Indianapolis. That's on the first possession of the second half, and that, to me, Gus, says a lot about Nick Saban and the Dolphins coaching staff. They make good adjustments at halftime, and their team comes out and really pours it on in the second half, particularly in that first drive.
First down and 10 at the 25. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. They give it to Brown on first down, and Ronnie Brown goes down at the 30. Ty Law makes a tackle, but he gains 6 yards. Brown, 13 carries now, 57 yards rushing.
That
is
is
long, 8 yards.
That's
on the day.
Good first down and first half for a running back. And watch here, everybody's getting involved. This is Marty Brooker coming in. Bang, pushes Sammy Knight right past the play.
Second down and 4 at the 31. Play action, Harrington, and he's sacked. Jared Allen got to him. First sack of the day for Kansas City, 6th of the season for Allen, and that's a loss of 13.
Jared Allen is a really good defensive end. He's done this a couple of times. He's batted down the ball. He also forced an incompletion earlier. It's about time the Miami Dolphins stop trying to fool him with a bootleg, because it's not working. Jared Allen is too good. The guy's fast, athletic, and disciplined. He's snapped it off every time they've tried to throw the football or roll to his side. You may as well stop trying it.
4th round pick out of Idaho State. Third down, 16. At the 19, they need to go to the 35 for a first. Chambers with the catch, and Chambers is wrapped up at the 31. Patrick Surtain jumps on his back, and it's a 12-yard gain. However, Miami has to send it away.
Well, you talk about the adjustments that Nick Saban was able to make. As you see here, here's the catch and run. Chambers almost getting some good yardage, but not enough for the first down after the sack by Jared Allen. But now it looks as though the Kansas City Chiefs made a few adjustments at halftime and have stopped one of the best first possession of the second half teams in the NFL.
Donnie Jones punting from the 17. Dante Hall back deep at his own 21. Hall coming up, takes a bounce, he picks it up. Dante Hall is wrapped up inside the 15. Terrific looking special teams play by Keith Adams. Welcome back. Miami with the lead. Trent Green on the left. He's the third quarterback today. Damon Huard is back up on the right, struggling with the offense in the first half. Huard 4 of 12 in the first half, 42 yards. As KC takes over at their own 31. Huard back to throw. That one incomplete, thrown high, intended for Tony Gonzalez. Will Allen covering defensively for Miami.
Well, as we spoke about, it's just as important on this first possession for the Kansas City offense to try and get something going, and I think it's obvious, and I think it's a good idea to get that guy involved. Throw it to Gonzalez first thing out of the box and start getting him involved. He's the best tight end in the NFL. You got to get him in the game.
Second down and 10 at the 31. Huard looks for Larry Johnson out of the backfield, wide open. He has some running room. Johnson breaks it back, and Larry Johnson picks up 13 yards on the play. Donnie Spriggan wraps him up. But Larry Johnson has become a much better receiver out of the backfield as his career goes on.
No question about it. And they use him as that. You see their average last 3 weeks, he's had 153 yards a game. Today he's only got 41. But on that play, he made a nice move on Zach Thomas right at the line of scrimmage to give him the chance to get the first down right out in space. Made a guy miss.
13th catch of the year for Johnson. Play fake. Huard down the seam. Gonzalez holds on, makes the catch. Flag on the play. Ronaldo Hill hauls down Tony Gonzalez after a 19-yard pickup.
I'll tell you.
And there's a flag in the Kansas City backfield.
Gonzalez, Gus, is so big and so physical.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 74 and 68. 15-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And that's Kyle Turley and Will Shields.
Yeah, they had one guy was engaged and the other came in low on the defensive lineman. And that negates that great catch and run by Gonzalez. But you see him going through, and more than any other tight end, Gus, when Gonzalez catches it, particularly when he's guarded by a defensive back, he looks like a giant on the field. He's so physical and so strong. It's really an impossible matchup, and that's why they keep throwing him the football and using him. You can use him so many different ways. He's just a huge weapon.
7-time Pro Bowler, 6 feet 5 inches. Johnson carrying, gets around the corner, down the sideline. And that's what makes Larry Johnson so special. Steve, he is so patient. Quite often you see running backs, especially young running backs, not waiting for their blocks to set up. That's not the case, though, with Larry Johnson.
You're right. Look, Gonzalez gets up, hooks the defensive end, then the two offensive linemen coming in, stop, and then he stops, waits, and lets Casey Wegman get out in front of him, and then finally gets to the sideline after a couple of hesitations and turns it on and gets a big gain.
Herman Edwards telling us that he put Larry in the room with the offensive linemen to watch film so they can really vibe out with each other. Here's Huard to the sideline, incomplete. Eddie Kennison, closest man to the football. Will Allen covering.
And that was a throwaway. You saw a minute ago, I told you that you had to, in the first half, you have to guard his backside. Well, now he's looking to his left so he can see Jason Taylor coming, and he throws the football away. In the first half, he got hit in the back, and it caused the interception. That, at least he got a chance to throw it away. Still an interception, but at least he could brace for the hit.
3rd down and 10 from the 44. Michael Bennett in the game at tailback. Ball in motion. Here's Huard, sets up a screen. Batted away at the last moment. Jason Taylor, he almost picked that one off.
Let me tell you, that guy right there is unbelievable. He dominated the game in Chicago a week ago. Watch, he has an underneath stunt. He's going to go inside to rush the passer, sees the lineman going out, and has athleticism enough to get back outside and almost pick that off. You can't match up against that as an offensive lineman. He's too fast and plays with such great leverage. That's unbelievable, that guy.
Taylor with an interception returned for a touchdown last week against Chicago. Colquitt at the 30. Wes Welker inside his own 15. And Welker signals for the fair catch and has it at the 23. A 33-yard punt. 13-0 Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Comfort Suites by Choice Hotels with free Savory Starts breakfast. And by Ford F-Series, built for bold moves, built Ford tough.
Jason Taylor, what a football player, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Last week in Chicago, recorded his 6th career touchdown, his first off an interception return. Right now, the Dolphins offense have it at the 23. Joey Harrington pulls it down and is taken to the ground by Jared Allen after a 1-yard gain.
We just got through talking about Jared Allen. He has been the difference maker for the Chiefs, the one guy that's been consistently in the mix all around the football. And then once again, Joey Harrington staying away from the big mistake. Tried to run it, wasn't there. Just go down, take the 1 yard gain and come back and try second down.
Second down and 9. Play fake, Harrington looking to the sideline. Nice throw. And Marty Booker with the grab inside of Lenny Walls, gains 12 yards. Marty Booker, a former Chicago Bear, came into this game with 23 catches.
Watch here, he comes out, giving him a lot of respect on the outside. As he just came out, ran the quick stop, turned around, and that was a great throw by Harrington, who didn't stare down his receiver too much, came out late and made the throw.
Booker, 2 catches, 16 yards, 1st and 10. Ronnie Brown. Kavika Mitchell and Page with the tackle, but Brown picks up 5. And all of a sudden, Ronnie Brown is getting closer to 100 yards, 14 carries, 62 yards rushing.
All of a sudden, he's on the verge of busting loose with a really big day. And that's what happens when you're up by 13 points. You keep handing the football to that guy standing behind the quarterback, and pretty soon he's had a nice solid day.
Second down and 5 at the 42. Barnes and Brown in the I formation. Here's Brown. Stood up and taken down. Jared Allen. Tell you what, Steve, this guy is a terrific football player.
He really is. As you'll see, he's right up here. Watch him. This is the difference. He steps up. He's got a tight end on him. Test the tight end. And you see there, and what they do in these defensive linemen, the great ones, he engages that tight end, but he's not even looking at it. He's all in him, getting all physical. He's not looking at the guy, looking at the backfield where the ball is. That way he can shed and move to the football and make the play.
The Dolphins asking a lot of Randy McMichael, blocking Jared Allen as Kieran Fox walks off the field. Fox in place of Derek Johnson today. Johnson inactive with an ankle injury. So let's see who the Chiefs send out there. It most likely will be either Rich Scanlon or Chris Griffin. There's Kieran. And it will be Chris Griffin, second-year player out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. Number 53 at linebacker. 3rd down and 7. Sammy Morris in the game now for Miami. Dolphins at the 40. Here comes a blitz. It's deflected and incomplete. Jared Page, the rookie safety, got a hand on the football, and the Dolphins have to send it away.
Yeah, and Sammy Moore sees the blitz, but the ball is tipped right there by Page. Morris was going to catch it, but he was defended by Chris Griffin and kept from catching the football. So the Chiefs get a stop on defense and will give their offense a chance to get on track once again.
Kansas City needs a spark. They are flat offensively today. Let's see if Dante Hall can do something. Comes up to make the catch at the 21. And he goes down at the 31. A 39-yard punt, 10-yard return. Jason Allen with the special teams tackle for the Dolphins. Back after this. Kansas City has struggled on offense. They just can't seem to get anything going.
That's the difference right there. A lot of 3-and-outs.
8 possessions, 5 3-and-outs for the KC offense. 1st and 10 at the 32. Huard looks backside, finds Tony Gonzalez wide open, and Gonzalez down the sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Tony Gonzalez tight-roping down the sideline, picks up 29.
Oh, this was a nice catch coming back to the backside. He'll sneak out down to the bottom of the sideline. Watch this as Channing Crowder gives him a shot. I said he was big and physical. Boom, hits him. He doesn't go out of bounds. You didn't even deflect him. I mean, that guy is special. and they're right to keep throwing him the football. They got to have somebody provide a spark, as you said, Gus. Maybe Gonzalez can do it.
2 catches, 39 yards for Gonzalez. Larry Johnson running straight ahead, and Johnson taking down Taylor and Wilkinson combining on the tackle, and it's a 2-yard gain.
You talk about Tony Gonzalez, and this is what he brings. The first 5 games is a rough start for him. Only 37 yards a game, and they were 2 and 3. Now they're starting to throw him the football. He's got 18.6 yards of reception, and they're 3-0. I mean, it's not rocket science. That guy makes a difference, and you got to get him the football.
2nd down and 8. Huard up top looking for Parker, incomplete. Parker running stride for stride on the sideline with Travis Daniels. And Travis Daniels has had a really solid game this afternoon. He has been in the hip pocket of Chief receivers today.
They have really struggled in getting separation. Damon Huard getting back in the pocket, looking to find somebody, and he doesn't see anybody open. I mean, the Dolphins secondary has been all over it, and also in conjunction with that, Huard has been getting a lot of pressure from that defensive line of the Dolphins. So it's been working well on both ends of the defense for the Dolphins.
3rd down and 8, Huard over the middle. And it's incomplete, intended for Gonzalez. And now the Chiefs are 0 for 8 on 3rd down conversions.
And that was all pressure. I mean, Huard threw that before he was ready. Watch as he drops back. They're sending only 4 guys, but they're 4 guys he didn't really expect. They came up the field so fast. And then Zach Thomas shoots through the middle and gets in his vision, and Huard had to throw that prematurely, and it was a bad throw.
Dustin Colquitt has punted 6 times. His long 49 yards. Wes Welker standing at the 8-yard line. And Colquitt delivers this one, potted high in the air, and it is down at the 5. Great job by Dustin Colquitt, a 32-yard punt. 6:42 to play, 3rd quarter. Back after this.
The NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, always a good call. And by Wrangler, makers of Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles.
Dolphins take over at their own 6-yard line, leading the game 13-0 here in the 3rd quarter. Ronnie Brown straight ahead, and he's dragged down at the 9-yard line. Kieran Fox with the tackle, and it's a 3-yard pickup. Trent Green on the right talking to Damon Huard on the left.
You can tell that conversation's not going very well. Trent Green kind of listening and shaking his head and shrugging his shoulders, and Damon Huard very, very animated in his frustration. I mean, you need somebody to talk to. Trent Green's a great one to talk to. Believe me, he understands what it is to be frustrated. Chiefs offense is struggling.
2nd and 7. Brown again. Off tackle, breaking tackle, spinning, and gets to the 21. Very simple right now for Miami. Smash mouth football, a 13-yard pickup. Fox another tackle, and that's his longest run of the day.
And this is what you don't want to see if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. The Miami Dolphins, 2 straight runs and a 1st down. Ronnie Brown off the right side of the offensive line. When you are letting a team run the football in the second half of a football game, you're in deep trouble.
Ronnie Brown, 17 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. 1st down and 10. Brown again. And this time Brown taken down on the right side. Ty Law there. San Diego and Cincy still battling. Here's JB.
Hey, Gus, I'm sure when you think of San Diego, you think of this guy here, LaDainian Tomlinson, capping a 6-play, 64-yard drive with his 14th rushing touchdown of the season. It's now 28-14. Cincinnati back to Gus and Steve.
All right, James. Denver and San Diego, the class of the AFC West. Kansas City trying to keep pace with those 2 teams, but struggling on the road today. 2nd and 6. Harrington over the middle. Peel, nice catch. And he goes down at the 40. Joey Harrington is awfully poised in the pocket today. A 15-yard gain for Beal. Fox with the tackle.
Well, one reason that they can be poised is offensive line is protecting, and they've got a really nice running game to complement the passing game. He fit that pass in there just before, once again, Jared Allen draped himself all over Harrington. He releases the football and gets the big first down. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't have to throw the football every down, it becomes easier to throw the football.
First down and 10 at the 40. Sammy Morris back in. And they give it to him straight ahead. Morris, another hole. Crosses the 45 to the 47 to Vika Mitchell, as well as Eric Hicks, an 8-yard gain. So, Steve, you have to credit this offensive line for Miami. They're playing great football.
Oh, you're not kidding. Up inside with L.J. Shelton and Vernon Carey, they're running right behind the two big guys, well over 300 pounds, the both of them, and they are absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage right now.
Vernon Carey, the right tackle, Shelton, the right guard, Hadnot, the center, Geno James, the left guard, and Damian McIntosh, the left tackle, all playing well. And Ronnie Brown, make that Morris turning the corner. And Morris unable to get outside. Surtain and Kavika Mitchell in on the play. And Pat Surtain is down.
Third and 1 from the 49.
Remember, Gus, this drive started inside the 5-yard line of the Dolphins. They've had just a methodical, well-executed drive out to this point, depending on the run game.
3:12 to play in the third. Back to Miami after this. Welcome back. 3:05 to play in the third quarter. Miami with the football on 3rd down and 1 at the 49, and Ronnie Brown goes straight ahead. And I don't know, doesn't look like he got the first down.
He did not get it.
And now Miami brings on the punt team. Here comes Donnie Jones.
And that's a huge play right down inside by Jimmy Wilkerson, who got into the backfield and wrapped him up. Even though he fell forward, he was deep enough in the backfield to stop the first down. Jimmy Wilkerson finally bringing that drive to a close for the Chiefs defense.
So Donnie Jones at the 35, his 4th punt of the game. Dante Hall stands at his own 10. Wobbly kick, Hall over to the sideline, flag on the play, Hall looking, and is chopped down at the 14, a 39-yard punt, a 2-yard return. Donnie Spragan with the tackle on special teams.
Never a good thing for the return team when it's thrown down the football field on the near where the guy catches the football.
And this will go against Kansas City. And Herman Edwards told us yesterday that for this team to win, they have to play the way they have been playing over the past 3 weeks. No turnovers and no errors. And they haven't turned the ball over, but they really haven't.
Holding, receiving team, number 85. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
And don't forget, next, Greg Norman, Annika Sorenstam, Brett Couples, and more show off at the Maryland Shootout. But as I mentioned, they haven't really turned the ball over, Steve, but they haven't done anything offensively to get in this football game.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, that if this game ends and the Chiefs aren't able to win it, they're going to look at this and really, this is the kind of game that makes you doubt yourself.
First down, Larry Johnson looking for running room, and he is stood up and taken down. Jason Taylor in on the play. Zach Thomas there as well.
You talk about what you felt like coming off that win last week if you're the Chiefs. And Herman Edwards, this is a team that Herman Edwards, it's been his way of doing business when he was in New York with the Jets, and this year with the Chiefs, his guys play hard for him. Today, they look like they woke up late for the game and they still haven't quite got it together yet.
Second down and 9 at the 8-yard line. Huard. Oh, almost picked off. Jason Taylor. Man, he'll dream about that one tonight.
How can a guy 6'6" hide from a quarterback? He came out of nowhere. Huard's going to try and throw this. He's ducking down right behind Kyle Turley and pops out and can't hang on to it. I mean, you see there, it was a forward pass. I don't think there's any question about that. You could have made a case for that being a sideways or backward pass, but it was forward and therefore incomplete.
3rd down and 9 at the 8. Huard under pressure over the middle. Gonzalez, 1st down, KC. As Tony Gonzalez goes out of bounds at the 24, Travis Daniels knocks him out of bounds, but it's a 15-yard gain.
Gus, you talk to anybody in the NFL, they say these games come down to 1 or 2 plays that make the difference. One play ago, the Dolphins just miss a touchdown, and now they throw the football to Gonzalez, and they're all the way out to their 23.5-yard line. 2 plays that turn it completely around in this game.
Larry Johnson running, and Johnson finding some space, gets to the 30. Ronaldo Hill with the tackle, a 5-yard gain. So Larry Johnson, 14 carries, 33 yards, and he has been doing some major damage this season. Last 3 games, take a look at his numbers. Against St. Louis, 27 carries, a $172 and a touchdown. Against Seattle, 39 carries, a $155, 3 touchdowns. And against San Diego, 28 carries, 132 yards with 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 5 at the 29. Huard. Gonzalez again, and he has it at the 35, a 6-yard pickup in front of Jeremiah Bell, and that's a 1st down. And I thought Huard was interesting when we spoke with him yesterday, and we were trying to compliment him about how well he was playing, and he said it's simple. My job is to get the ball to Larry Johnson and Tony Gonzalez. He's doing that a little bit better.
No question, and they're the key guys. Number 27, number 88. That'll make a difference.
Coming up the 4th quarter.
Bud Light presents this cheerleader performance.
(13-0) as we start the 4th quarter. Dolphins lead it. The Chiefs have it at the 35. Huard over the middle. Gonzalez can't track it down. He was open. He had beaten Donnie Spragan and Zach Thomas, but Huard just couldn't put it on him.
Well, it's hard enough for a defensive back to go one-on-one with Gonzalez, but now you've got 2 linebackers. Thomas cheating over to help Spragan, but Gonzalez gets the outside release, so Thomas has no chance to get there, but Huard just can't lay it out there on him. And as Trent Green watches that little wire out of his ear, that's to make sure he hears the play and knows exactly what's to run, what play they're running, so when Huard comes off, he can help with what his read should have been or could have been.
2nd and 10. Huard again to the sideline this time. Dante Hall with the catch, breaks it back, but he steps out of bounds. He picks up the 1st down, though, at the 46, a gain of 11 on 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you, you get the ball in the hands of Dante Hall in space, and you just kind of, if you're the Dolphins, you just kind of cringe. You're right there, no question about it. It's a good call by the official, but Hall can do so much because he's so confident in his ability to get to the end zone. It's scary for a defense and a coaching staff that has to stand there and watch it.
2 catches, 28 yards for Hall. 1st down and 10. Larry Johnson. He runs into a wall. Dan Wilkinson with the tackle. Cincy and San Diego. Here's JB.
Gus and Steve, San Diego had trailed 21-0, but boy, are they storming back. Take a look at Phillip Rivers up top, 46 yards to Malcolm Floyd. 2 touchdowns within a minute and 39. It is now 31-21 Cincinnati. That in the 3rd. Back to Gus and Steve.
Phillip Rivers doing a fine job as you take a look at the standings in the AFC North. Cincinnati at 500, trailing Baltimore. 2nd down and 8. Huard over the middle, wide open. Eddie Kennison. And now the Chiefs are starting to find their rhythm. That's a gain of 24. Jeremiah Bell with the tackle. 1st down, Kansas City.
And you'll watch Kennison makes a great catch over the middle, gets a free release, nobody bangs, and we saw in the 1st half how Jason Taylor would knock him off his route. Well, when they don't do that, he has a chance to run down the field, and the timing of the route on those deep routes is perfect, and Huard's able to find him. And now, of course, as you look at this game, as much as Miami has dominated, the Chiefs score a touchdown here. It's a very different football game.
They run the reverse. Parker with a block. Oh, he's dropped. What a great open field tackle by Ronaldo Hill. Wow.
That hurts. Yeah, that hurts. You come out and he didn't see him. He came and turned the corner, and Hill came out of nowhere. Didn't even get a chance to see him and stopped that play short.
Ronaldo Hill played for Nick Saban when he coached at Michigan State. Play fake. Huard looking. Gonzalez inside the 10. Jeremiah Bell again. So a steady diet of Tony Gonzalez as Huard hangs in there and completes the pass.
Yeah, he's going to take the shot, but he knows too as Gonzalez gets out there, and this is the thing about Gonzalez. A wide receiver knows he's going to get hit hard in the back. Gonzalez knows it's going to be a DB who's half his size. He doesn't care. But Huard, watch as he throws this up, bang, gets hit right in the mouth by Donnie Spragan.
Larry Johnson back in the game. Gonzalez, 5 catches, 75 yards. Huard looking, incomplete. Kennison, the intended receiver, covered by Zach Thomas.
That's a throwaway by Huard. Once again, this Dolphin defense rising up. It's hard, I think, to do some of the things you think about the Dolphins coming down here offensively and running trick plays. You don't run tricks on Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor. And that defensive line of the Dolphins, with 10 years experience for Taylor, 15 for Keith Traylor, 12 years for Kevin Carter, you don't get too much past those guys.
2nd down and 9 into the end zone. And Gonzalez unable to haul it in. And that will bring up 3rd down and 9. Will Allen covering.
I don't know, Gus. I think for the Chiefs to come down here, I like it better when they run the ball down there. Larry Johnson is a big, tough, physical back. As you see there, Gonzalez almost pulling that football in on the sidelines. I like the mismatch. I don't know if I like the philosophy.
14th play of the drive that started at the Kansas City 7. 3rd down and goal at the 9. Huard dumps it off to Larry Johnson. And Johnson dropped by Channing Crowder. Another terrific open field tackle by the Miami Dolphin defense.
That's a huge and very important defensive stand for the Dolphin defense. The Chiefs were finding some life offensively. They got the ball to Larry Johnson, their best guy, and there you see it. Stopped cold right when the Chiefs needed it most.
So that brings in Lawrence Tynes in to attempt a 26-yard field goal. It's up and good. And finally, with 11 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, the Chiefs get on the scoreboard. 13-3, Dolphins with the lead. Back deep inside the 5. Here's Welker from the 5. He crosses the 25 and gets to the 26. A 22-yard return. Jimmy Wilkerson with the tackle. And the 4th quarter has been a very good one for Joey Harrington this year.
Those are pretty stark numbers, Gus. I mean, look at the difference in how good Joey Harrington has been. Now, there's no question. I mean, the Dolphins are sitting here at 2-6. 4th quarter's been some desperation times for them in a lot of games. But nevertheless, he's been effective in those situations. His TD to interception ratio is better than any other quarter. So the Dolphins right now, there's no question, they've got the Chiefs right where they want them.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 39. Blow to the head of the opponent. 15-yard, automatic, 1st down.
And that is Derek Ross, a backup running back on special teams. So the Dolphins will have the football at the 41-yard line.
First and 10 from the 41.
As Miami breaks the huddle, Joey Harrington approaching the line of scrimmage. He has Ronnie Brown in the backfield. Play action. Harrington throws the bomb. Broken up at the last moment. Bernard Pollard, the rookie out of Purdue, coming over and making the play.
No question. This would have helped the Chiefs' cause. You see there, I guess it's an old saying. A lot of times the reason a defensive back is because he's a wide receiver who can't catch. That ball was right where Pollard needed it to be to intercept it, and he just couldn't pull it in.
Second down and 10 at the 41.
Those are the kind of plays that can turn a game around, Gus.
Ronnie Brown breaks a tackle, but doesn't go very far. Sammy Knight had him in the backfield, and he's eventually stopped by Ron Edwards.
And this point is the Dolphins take all the time in the world. It's a two-possession game because of that great defensive stop by the Dolphins a moment ago. Now it's a two-possession game with 10 minutes and 15 seconds and counting left. Exactly where the Dolphins want to be.
Third down and 9 at the 42. Harrington out of the shotgun. Lines up. That one sails out of bounds, intended for Chambers. Ty Law standing on the play.
Yeah, the Chiefs faked a blitz. They had 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and they all dropped out. They only rushed 4 guys, and Joey Harrington didn't have anywhere to throw the football. He had to throw it away, and the Chiefs were going to get it back pretty quickly after the field goal a moment ago.
So Donnie Jones will punt it from the 27. Dante Hall at the 15. Wobbly kick. Hall comes up to field it at the 18-yard line, and he is roughed up and slammed to the ground by Channing Crowder. 40-yard punt, 3-yard return.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. The U.S. Army. There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. To find out more, talk to your local recruiter. And by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Welcome back. Chiefs take over. First down and 10 at the 22-yard line. 9:55 to play in the fourth quarter. 13-3. Huard throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Tony Gonzalez. And Zach Thomas there defensively for Miami.
You talk about a few minutes ago when the defense of the Dolphins had to rise up. They stopped the reverse that looked like it was going to go for a big gain. And then on third down, inside the 15-yard line, Channing Crowder comes up for the big stop to force the field goal. And there's something the Chiefs hate to see. Tony Gonzalez shaken up on that last attempted pass reception. Every time he goes anywhere on the football field, there's 2 Dolphin defenders all over him. You'll see here Zach Thomas underneath and on the top taking the shot from Ronaldo Hill. You can see there holding his rib cage.
So Gonzalez walks off the field on his own. He is a tough guy. 5 catches, 75 yards today. Second down and 10 at the 22 for Kansas City. Larry Johnson in the backfield.
Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's Kyle Turley, who started today for Kevin Sampson at right tackle. Sampson out with a foot injury.
Kyle Turley, interestingly enough, last spring came into Miami for a tryout in one of their open mini camps, tried out as a tight end for the Dolphins, now playing right tackle for the Chiefs.
Second down at 15. Huard under pressure. Huard running, and he slides down, but Jason Taylor is there to get him.
And it's going to be a hold
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense, number 52.
Pointing the wrong way.
Holding, offense, number 74. Those penalties offset will replay second down.
That's a little confusing, but I think I'm going to take his word for it and not his motion.
74-52. 52 for Miami is Channing Crowder. And 74 is Kyle Turley for the Chiefs.
Herm Edwards saying he pointed both ways, but it only went against us.
Second down and 15 yards to go at the 17-yard line. Ball in motion. Huard steps up in the pocket, throws on the run, and it's incomplete. Larry Johnson, the intended receiver. Channing Crowder there, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long. Chiefs need 15 yards, and look at
that's
Kansas City on 3rd down today.
That tells you a lot about what's gone on with the Kansas City offense today, and 3rd and 15 is not a way to break that slump.
They need to go to the 32-yard line. Huard, pump fake down the sideline. Parker batted it up in the air, incomplete. Andre Goodman, another solid defensive play, and the Chiefs have to punt.
Yeah, and Parker going up after it. Huard just trying to get his guy to make a play for him. 3rd and 15. It's about all you can do, and they just couldn't get it done. Not a very high percentage attempt, but still, I think at that moment, probably their best option.
8th punt of the day for Colquitt inside his own 5. Gets this one off. Welker backpedaling, and he starts from the 31. Finds a hole. Watch out! Walker lost it. Loose ball. Do the Chiefs catch a break?
The longer it's down there before they unwrap it.
Miami says it's their ball.
And it is.
And it is. A 52-yard punt, 18-yard return, and the Dolphins dodge a bullet.
Trying to make something happen here. He makes a cut. Great cut right there is what gives him a chance, and then bang, it's forced. The fumble is forced right there by Rod Gardner. The ball just pops loose. And really recovered once again by the Dolphins.
So Miami with the football at their own 49. 8:56 to play. Barnes and Brown in the offset eye. Second man through is Brown. Tries to turn the corner and does, and gets inside Kansas City territory. Tamba Hali with the tackle. First time we've called his name today. Rookie out of Penn State, 1st round pick, 20th overall, and he has been plagued this week by a hip pointer. Suffered against St. Louis last weekend.
There's another Penn State guy that's struggling with an injury. That's Joe Pa.
That's right. Who had surgery yesterday.
That's right. Wish him the best.
Second down and 9 at midfield. They run the reverse. Lost. Jared Allen picks it up. Allen down at the 20. Johnny on the spot, and the Chiefs are in business. First turnover of the day for Miami, and they went to one too many trick plays.
That's exactly right. Once again, you see here the ball handling's just not there. Jared Allen, who's been all in the backfield of the Dolphins all day, finally comes up and makes the play. He's been making tackles and knocking stuff down. Here, the ball bounces right to him, and it looked like he was going to get loose and go. Ronnie Brown makes the tackle, and that's the first break the Chiefs have managed to force for themselves. And I'll tell you what, Jared Allen has played a great game. Not too many guys on the Chiefs can say that, but he has. Jared Allen making the difference right there.
First down and 10 at the 20-yard line for Kansas City. Larry Johnson with room, spins down inside the 15. He's stopped at the 14 after gaining 6 yards on the play. Will Allen on the stop.
Look at Tony Gonzalez on the right side. Right there, you can't miss him. And he's a big guy, and he does a nice job. Gives his back a chance to cut off the block. Whether you take the defender Roth one way or the other, it gives your back a choice. That's all you can ask for.
2nd down and 4. Over the middle, incomplete. Huard under pressure. Zach Thomas covering, but Vonnie Holliday was in the backfield.
Yeah, Huard was going to throw that ball deep down the outside. Gonzalez was running to the corner from the slot position, but he just didn't have time to wait on that route to develop. They had pressure right at Huard right away, and he had to try and dump it to Larry Johnson as a resort to keep from getting sacked.
7:34 to play in the 4th. 3rd down 4 at the 14. They need to go to the 10 for a 1st down. Gonzalez is the tight end in motion right now. Huard throws. Gonzalez turns it up. Has the 1st down, out of bounds at the 5. Crowder saves the touchdown. And there is a flag on the play in the Kansas City backfield.
Well, and this is one of the things we've said it all day, Gus. We just got through saying a few minutes ago, everywhere Gonzalez goes, there's 2 guys on him. Well, now there's only 1, and they can get him the ball when there's just 1.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face of the quarterback. Defense, number 86. Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
That's not 86, that's 96 David Bowens. Marty Brooker was not on the field. Just see here. And that's it right there. It's unintentional, but you can't do it.
And that was the first penalty called against the Dolphins today. So the Chiefs have it. 1st and goal at the 2. Larry Johnson, the deep man. They give it to Johnson, trying to get into the end zone. And he does. Touchdown, Kansas City.
The fumble recovery by Jared Allen and the return on the trick play that went awry has made this a much different football game. And all of a sudden, the Miami sideline is all standing still, and the Chiefs are all on their feet, walking around, ready to get back on the field. Great power run inside, a spin move, and a spin and reach for the end zone. Larry Johnson wouldn't be denied.
Extra point up and good. So 7:14 to play in the 4th. Larry Johnson, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. More importantly, though, the Kansas City Chiefs are right back in this game.
Play call.
Welcome back. Miami holding on to a 3-point lead. Jared Allen picking up the fumble and rumbling down the field. Larry Johnson scoring his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Dolphins lead by 3 as Kansas City sends it away to Welker from the 8. And Welker gets to the 30-yard line. Boomer Grigsby with the tackle on special teams.
And Gus, we've talked about how these games all boil down to 1 or 2 plays. Look at the plays that came happen. This one, a just missed interception touchdown by Jason Taylor. Then the Dolphins fumble this away. It turns around and comes back the other way and sets up the Larry Johnson touchdown. And all of a sudden it's 13-10 Dolphins and not 20-3 Dolphins.
Jared Allen, Johnny on the spot. Kansas City, though, needs to stop Miami here. 1st and 10 at the 31. Ronnie Brown. And Brown gets to the 33.5.
Miami has got to play aggressive offensive football. Stay on the football field and act like you've got to score with this ball. You can't lay down and let this clock tick away. Your defense has played great so far. Do not turn this football over. Stay with your power running game and stay on the football field at all costs.
Better second half for the Chiefs. 2nd and 7. Here's Harrington. Over the middle, incomplete. Bobbled and dropped by Chris Chambers. And that brings up 3rd down and 7 at the 34. Dolphins getting a little tight now.
No question. And we saw early in the first half how the Chiefs dropped a couple of passes on 3rd down that made them go 1-2, 3 and out 5 times in a row. Now the Dolphins drop a pass that could have given them a chance at an easier 1st down or maybe convert the 1st down. These little things add up over the game.
3rd down and 7 at the 34. Dolphins have missed their last 5 3rd downs. Here's Harrington with time over the middle. It's caught and a 1st down for Miami. Sammy Morris out of the backfield. Gains 10.
And you can tell the Dolphins bench went crazy when he got this 1st down. Stayed in bounds, clock will run. Joey Harrington hits the dump off. Broken tackle right there as Kieran Fox can't make the tackle. Morris spins out of it, goes to the sideline, picks up the 1st down, has enough presence of mind to get down in bounds. And that's a huge boost.
Ronnie Brown back in the game at tailback. 1st and 10 at the 45. Brown. And Brown gets to the 48-yard line. 3-yard pickup. Kavika Mitchell with the tackle. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining, plus the 2-minute warning. 13-10.
And the Chiefs defense desperately trying to get a stop here, get the football back to that guy, Damon Huard. Jared Allen, who has played a phenomenal game. He and Jason Taylor have been standouts in this football game, as it has been a defensive struggle.
2nd and 7 at the 48. Harrington rifles that one. Wes Welker has it, and a 1st down. That one may have been deflected at the line of scrimmage, Steve, because Welker had to readjust to the football in mid-flight.
Yeah, it looked like he was expecting the football in a different spot and had to jump backwards, kind of adjust in midair, as you said, Gus, to make that catch. We'll see if this ball was tipped. Well, maybe, I don't know, hard to say there. Jimmy Wilkerson might have gotten a hand on him, but nevertheless, good enough for a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the Kansas City 45. Harrington to the sideline. Nice catch as Chambers turns it up. And gains about 7.5 in front of Ty Law. Stays in bounds. Clock continues to run.
This is exactly what the Dolphins need to do. Keep playing their offense. Go after it. Throw the football on 1st down. Keep everybody involved and be aggressive. Make the Chiefs defend everything.
Joey Harrington, 19 of 34, 201. No touchdowns, no picks. 2nd down and 3 at the 38. Ronnie Brown, and he's dropped.
And now the Chiefs will
Sammy
use their...
Knight and Kieran Fox there.
Herman Edwards walked right out on the field and called a quick timeout. It's time to start thinking about the clock of your Kansas City.
3:27 to play, 4th quarter. Dolphins lead at 13-10. Back after this. Hey, Steve.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Casino Royale, in theaters November 17th, and by yellowbook.com. Quick, local, reliable. Search online at yellowbook.com.
Third down and 2 at the 37-yard line for the Dolphins. Sammy Morris in the game. In the backfield, standing next to Joey Harrington. Welker in motion. Here's Harrington. Up top, incomplete. And Miami will have to punt it away with 3:24 to go in the 4th.
You see there, he's open.
Marty Booker.
Booker was open. They got to get the ball down. The ball's thrown right over his head. He had no shot at catching it. And Joey Harrington knew it. That was a bad throw.
So with 3 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the fourth, down by 3, the Chiefs will get it back. They have 2 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. This one pops straight in the air. Hall gets away from it. And it takes a bounce and goes dead inside the 15. A 23-yard punt. Tonight on CBS, a 60 Minutes tribute to the memory and many talents of our friend and colleague, Ed Bradley. That's tonight on 60 Minutes.
Well, Gus, here you have it. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. You need 3 points to tie it, a touchdown to win it. You've got 2 timeouts. You work on it every week in your situational practices. You got a certain amount of time and a certain amount of timeouts. You got to go and work your way down the football field into field goal range. Every team practices it. It's exactly what you prepare for. Damon Huard has to get it done.
First down and 10 at the 14-yard line for Damon Huard and the Chiefs. Huard in trouble, and he's sacked. Vonnie Holliday getting to the quarterback.
Right up the middle, swims right between Casey Wigman and Chris Bober. The center guard just can't stop him. He swims right through a double team. You can't prepare for that, Gus. It's a double team. You can't expect a double team to get beat like that.
A loss of 10, second down and 20. Here's Johnson running the football, and he doesn't get much as he runs right into Jeff Scanina. Holliday there also, a 2-yard gain. So all of a sudden it's third down and 18.
That sack was enormous. Absolutely enormous.
Chiefs need somebody to step up and make a play. Huard down the sideline for Kennison. Oh, he's got it at the 37. First down, Kansas City, in front of Goodman. And boy, did he step up and make a huge play. A gain of 31.
Not only is this in front of Goodman, it's right in front of Nick Saban. How do you let that ball get in there if you're Andre Goodman? Enormous play.
2 minutes remaining. 3-point game in South Florida. The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 is providing today's aerial coverage of the game below. The Blimp travels 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. First down and 10. Huard in trouble again, and he's sacked. Zach Thomas, third sack of the day for Miami. But let's go back to look at the big catch that got the Chiefs here.
After Vonnie Holliday made the huge sack to get him in third and impossible, Eddie Kennison makes the impossible catch to get the first down.
Huard down the seam, picked off. Jeremiah Bell. Oh, they say it's an incomplete pass.
Gonzalez is hurt.
Wait a minute. Now they're saying that Miami has it.
A lot of things going on here. There's a discussion as to whether it was completed or not. Tony Gonzalez is down injured, and we don't even know whose possession it is. Jeremiah Bell looked like he picked it off.
The ruling on the field is that we have an incomplete pass.
It's still going to be third down and 16. Watch here right in the middle of your screen. Gonzalez has to go over the top of Bell to get it. No way to see where the ball was here. We'll see here. You can see why Gonzalez might have come up injured on this. He's trying to make a play on the ball. Goes down hard. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. No question the officials got that right. Bell right in front of Gonzalez, right where he needed to be. And I'll tell you what, that's another reason Tony Gonzalez is one of the best tight ends ever. He refused to give up on a play that was impossible for him to make in order to make it impossible for the defensive player to make. That's why Huard had the confidence to throw it in there. Gonzalez was completely covered, and yet he still wanted to give him a chance to make a play, and Bell wouldn't let it happen. And there once again, two guys converging on Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez trying to work out that shoulder. The left shoulder is causing him problems. He's the all-time leader in receptions for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ozzie Newsome,
or Shannon Sharp.
The other two tight ends that have led their teams in receiving.
And I'll tell you what, with 3rd and 16, Damon Huard wishes Tony Gonzalez was on the field, but Gonzalez does not look well coming off. It doesn't look like he's going to walk off, shake it off, put his helmet, and come back in. He's going to the bench.
Now remember, Damon Huard was faced with the 3rd down and 18 at the 7, and he connected with Eddie Kennison for 31 yards.
Well, all they need to do, Gus, is get half of it. This is 4-down territory. There's no question about it. They got 2 shots at this 3rd and 16. You don't want to go 4th and 16, so don't be afraid to take the short pass and make it into a 4th and maybe, not a 4th and impossible.
Kansas City needs to go to their own 48 on 3rd down and 16. Dante Hall in motion. Times. Dumps it over the middle of Hall. And he is dropped. Jeremiah Bell again. I tell you what, Steve, he's going to get a game ball after this one. He has been all over the field.
He has been great in the passing game. You see there, Hall comes right underneath everything. And Bell is right there.
And Kansas City will go for it on 4th down and 12 as Huard calls a timeout. Chiefs have 1 timeout remaining.
You see they're interesting. Herman Edwards over there calls the timeout and then steps away, lets the offensive huddle work. This guy has you never see Herm without a smile on his face. This guy loves football. He had a great line after his team won a game last week. He said, this game is going to be a tough game. And he looked at his players in the eye and said, but we like tough games. That is a great head coach.
Well, he has a tough one in front of him right now. Don't forget, tonight on CBS, a hate crime may lead to murder on a new cold case at 9/8 Central on CBS, America's #1 network. 4th down and 12 at the 36. Chiefs need to go to the 48-yard line for 1st down. Eddie Kennison, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Parker in the slot, along with Dante Hall. Hall in motion. Huard under pressure over the middle. Got it, and incomplete. And the Dolphins will get it again.
Well, Gus, you'll see here the pressure is there, but trying to get this football to Sammy Parker, swims underneath. And I'll tell you what, the Miami secondary has done an outstanding job today hemming in these Kansas City Chief receivers. They've been all over them, Gonzalez especially. As you see here with 1 timeout, Kansas City cannot stop the clock enough times to get the football back. And the Dolphins can kneel down and end this one.
Harrington takes a knee. So the Miami Dolphins are less than a minute away from back-to-back wins, and they went to Chicago last week and shook up the world, upsetting the undefeated Chicago Bears on the road. And it turned out to give this team a lot of confidence.
You talk about how big a game this was, Gus, as you see the Dolphins kneel down here again. The Chiefs needed this game. They're in the AFC West with San Diego and with the Denver Broncos. It's like the ACC, 1 loss and you may be out of it. This is a huge loss for the Chiefs, although they still can get in it. They're going to have to get back in it. They're getting to the point where they're going to have to wait for the Broncos and the Chargers to come back to them.
13-10, the final score. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Tony Petiti. Today's game was produced by Victor Frank and directed by Mark Grant. The NFL Today is produced by senior producer Eric Mann and directed by Bob Matina. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate director of today's game, Sean Gerchikoff. The broadcast associate, Brian Jagoda. And the technical manager is Steve McEwen. The technical director, Phil Doucette. And the audio supervisor is Gene Richards. 13-10, Miami. Here's JB in New York.
All right, Gus, so Miami comes up with the victory to improve to 3-6. Meanwhile, we're going to get set to take you out to a super shootout in Cincinnati. 42-38 San Diego. Big game for LaDainian. Let's join Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf.
Manzana is down on the ground.